So why would somebody need a second brain organization solution? Something along the lines of maybe Obsidian? Stay tuned in this video because I'm going to dive into it. Hey, my name is Brandon. Thank you for joining me. In this video, I'm going to dive into a little bit about why somebody would even consider creating a second brain and what does that even mean. But first, several years ago, whenever I was first starting to dive into different thought leadership topics and IP snapshots by Matt Church and reading his book and kind of going through the whole system in my personal life, I would see opportunities for utilizing something like this whenever I would be doing like a community meditation at church. Oftentimes I would either take something that I've experienced or a story that I'm able to share, and I would use that to be able to provide input and insights into the community meditation. But as I started to dive deeper into different coaching type things and trying to understand all of the different things that go into your IP snapshots, that's whenever I really started to realize that I need something else to better organize. So my quest began to try to track down something that would allow me to be able to very quickly access those thoughts. And that's where I'm at today, trying to get a better handle on my organizational structure for that. And as I sit there trying to start this morning, I was doing some of that thinking and trying to put some of the thoughts and stories in a more organized, more cohesive fashion. It all kind of came down on me here as far as like the crystal clarity of why this is so important. And I just wanted to share this concept with you. So let's go ahead and take a look. So basically right now, this is our brain. And our brain, it maybe mine is a little less functional than yours. I had a stroke several years ago, and maybe that's impacted my ability to retain. But what I found is that is little pieces of information or memories or things that I want to be able to recall. As these pop into my brain, they're stored in a certain location. I'm able to hold a certain amount, and then it almost as if it runs out the other side. It's very similar to like if you have a bucket and you turn a spigot on and water is filling into the bucket and it has a hole, maybe with a pipe coming out, you can only put so much water in and then water's going out the other side of it. And if you needed to recall something, like I surely you have been in a similar situation where you're trying to remember something that happened or the details of something. And for me, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I would love to have like just this huge, I guess, repository of stories of mine as well as other people's that I could share and be able to recall on demand. And that's exactly where I started to kind of run into. I realized that we have this limited quantity that we're able to store. However, if we utilize a second brain, something like Obsidian, we're able to utilize it almost like a computer hard drive, where as the information comes in, you're able to put it in different areas. And it's really, I think, why it ties into the computer analogy so well is the speed is able to be recalled as well so fast. So instead of me trying to locate where I might have saved a file on my computer or where I might have saved something in my brain trying to recall it quickly, you're able with some of these personal knowledge management systems like Obsidian, you're able to very quickly locate whatever it is and you're able to outlink different things to more quickly find what it is. And I started to then realize that we're able to, like all of these things that I wanted to capture to be able to reutilize in the future, whether it's stories, models, and frameworks very similar to this, or if there's metaphors, something like a Trojan horse, where people have the information and they disperse it into a computer system. It's very similar to a Trojan horse, different metaphors along those lines, or maybe statistics, stories, source notes, such as if I'm reading a note or a book. And that's really what I ended up finding is I would read a book and table it. Maybe I would start to take some notes out of it, but I was not able to recall the important things that I wanted to. And nowadays, what I realize is that I will read a book, and out of that one book, I might have, let's say, I can take 5 quotes out of it that I wish that I could reuse at some other point in the future. Maybe there's 2 frameworks that the author shares, or maybe it's based off of one overall framework. Or maybe he shares or she shares 3 stories that I think are very impactful for various uses that I may be able to reuse at some point in the future. Being able to recall those quickly is exactly what I'm talking about. And that was the problem that I was experiencing. I wouldn't know what book it was, where to find it, how to locate it quickly. So I needed a system on being able to organize all of this into one second brain essentially, and that's where it's at today. So now whenever you have this computer type of a grid, you're able to do it very quickly. It's almost like whenever I was growing up, there was a computer system called a Commodore 64, very slow, and if I brought that up against an iPad of today, it would be no comparison as to how fast that information is able to be regained. As a matter of fact, whenever we used to turn on those computers, like the Commodore 64s or the Ataris, it would take like forever, it felt like, for them to boot up. So speed, you're able to do it quicker. Shareability. What's really kind of cool, kind of imagine shareability is like the RAM, where different things are able to access that information all at once. A lot of the PKM personal knowledge management softwares, you're able to create what they call digital gardens. I guess it's some fancy term for being able to put something out there where multiple people are able to pour into it, cultivate it, and kind of extract information out of it. So the shareability has increased greatly with being able to use a PKM, and why that's so important. Linkability, again, you're able to quickly associate. So just because I went through, let's say that there was a story and maybe I use it on a community meditation. Maybe I also want to be able to utilize that in a book that I'm going to write, or a blog post that I'm going to do, or a video like this that I'm currently filming. If I want to be able to reutilize that, I'm able to link out to different things very easily, as well as have them point back to that source, that story that I'm looking to share. So, and then the fifth thing is recalling in depth. And what I mean by that specifically is right now, this computer hard drive, it's essentially a 2D model. However, you're able to go and add depth to your library. The amazing thing is with these PKM systems, again, we're limited by our brain's capacity to retain and hold information and be able to access it. With a computer, you're able to store anything that you want. Like your brain could literally explode with all of the information that you can put in there. You can have the images, you can instantly recall them. We don't have that capability with our brains. So having something where we can organize this and be able to process it, the second brain type concept, it's been phenomenal. And as I dive deeper into understanding the technology and the capabilities and understanding a little better about how to link my thoughts, it's amazing, honestly, how much more improved we can make our lives and our thoughts, and be able to just more easily be able to keep all of this information very easily managed. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, it's going from our brain to a computer type brain is why it is awesome to be able to utilize PKM, personal knowledge management type systems like Obsidian. Talk to you in the next video.